Alright, let's lock in. What does derivative mean? So derivative means the rate of change. The rate of change. Alright, so I just told you guys that it's a rate of change. Now we're gonna look into, for example, of milk. How milk can transform into yogurt, and then yogurt through further fermentation process turns into cheese. So for example, you guys all know about velocity, and velocity is basically distance over time. And so here, for example, we have the car right here. As it speeds up, so that's the distance, right? 10 kilometers, 20, 30, 40 kilometers, and so on. And we have the distance. No, I'm sorry. That's the distance, and that's time. For example, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. This car is insane, bro. Like, it just moved from 10 kilometers in 1 minute. That's insane. All right. So as you can see, that we eventually have something like this if we were to plug in the numbers. I'm gonna plug in, how you see here, that's the function v of t, and v is like, it basically the velocity, and that's equal to the functions of time, which is t over d, d over t, I'm sorry, d over t. See, lock in, man, you guys gotta lock in. So the derivative of this tells us how fast, right? How fast the car is moving at a given time. For example, at 3 minutes, we gotta log in into like around 30 kilometers. Yeah, I'm sorry, kilometers. All right, 30 kilometers when it's 3 minutes. So the unit here is probably like 10 kilometers per minute. So you get the point? Yeah, better get the point, guys. Alright. I'm not paid enough for this, but alright. Mr. Gold, please give me a higher grade in math. Okay. Now we will be talking about milk, and that goes the same. Alright, guys. Math is universal. I'm sorry, Miss Tom Kill. My pronunciation is really bad.
We can say that milk, it's, I have no idea, but we can just make up some random numbers. For example, milk, let's say, it takes 3 days of fermentations to be, oh god, milk has 3 days of fermentations. That includes like, what? Of course, this is not real, guys. I'm not a biologist, so please excuse me. Alright, 1,000 bacteria. So let's say that we have like 1,000 bacteria. Now let's start day one. I'm sorry. Day one. This looks disgusting. Day one. Not 1 day. Day one. Alright, so day one we have 1,000 bacteria, and it stays the same as milk. But then just keep going with yogurt as day 3. There are 100,000 bacteria. Is that no, 10,000 bacteria. And for example, like cheese, this process takes like forever, so it's not gonna take 4 days to make cheese out of milk, guys. It's the truth. I'm just making up an example. So that's around 100,000 bacteria. So you can see here, I just set up the values when milk eventually transforms into yogurt, and yogurt then transforms into cheese. So this process called fermentation and lactic acid, things that you're supposed to know, because this is not a damn biology class, guys. Lock in, guys. Alright. Okay. Now, you see here, I will be applying this into real world applications. So milk, yogurt, and cheese. That's a graph. That's too big. That's a graph. Let's say this is, oh my god, I'm gonna throw this away as well. This looks disgusting. Guys, this is SI Academy, not Khan Academy, so please excuse me for that. That's our beautiful graph right here. Such a stellar, phenomenal, outrageous, anyway. Okay. We will call this T, just like time and distance, but this time's not distant, guys. T is the days. And that here we have, and let's call it hashtags, right? Because it's representing numbers. Oh, bacteria. Too big. Bacteria, right. So as we mentioned earlier, let's call this, let's start putting the numbers in. That's 0, that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. That's 1,000, 10,000, and 100,000. Alright, so this function we call here, I just call it random, like So let's call this function a function to find the process of fermentation in which milk will be transformed into cheese. Now milk will be transformed into yogurt first, and prior to the fermentation of cheese, we have to finish milk first. No. I mean, from yogurt to from milk to yogurt to cheese. Okay. What else we have here? Let's call the functions fermentation, or just F. Now we have T here. Now, let's call this fermentation. So to define the T and the bacteria, we're gonna have to T over hashtag. That should be equal to a variable. We're gonna call this fermentations. So F of T, and F of T. We can call F of T here is the moment in which milk will become yogurt and yogurt will become what? Cheese, right? Determine. Determine. Let me zoom in, guys. Zoom in. Determine the process of fermentations. Determine the process of fermentation, the stage. Which I'm specifically referring here is the stage. The stage in which it will become either milk, yogurt, or cheese. Okay, SI can be. Alright. So, I will give you the variable and the numbers. Now we plug in. Whoop. So you see here? So at the first day, we plug in this number. The first day, 1,000 bacteria. The second day, what? 10,000 bacteria. And the third day, what? We have 100,000 bacteria. So that's the rate of change, how it transforms into each time. And the process of fermentation is basically this, F of T. And that's basically the amount of days. Dude. Oh shoot, guys, I messed up. Okay. That's T is the number, right? That should be T right here. I'm sorry, guys. T. No. That's numbers. And that's T. T is time. That's bacteria over there, guys. I'm so sorry. Days. And bacteria. Okay. Switch that over, and now we have that thing like this. So, the function F of T tells us tells us specifically when we hit this day. For example, the first day, we have around 1,000 bacteria. On the second day, we have 10,000 bacteria. And on the third day, we have 100,000 bacteria. So that's the relationship between the number of bacteria and the amount of days as it goes by. So, told ya, first day, 1,000 bacteria, that's milk. We'll draw milk here. Milk. Alright, milk. This is legit fun, guys, milk. On the second day, we have yogurt. Let me draw something. No, that looks disgusting. Yogurt. Not really legit, I guess. And last day, we have cheese. You see here, that's cheese. I get some holes in it because of bacteria. I don't think it looks like cheese. You guys know what it is. This looks disgusting. Okay. So, this graph, right here, it tells us specifically at which time the process evolves from milk to yogurt, from yogurt to cheese. And that's F of T. So F of T tells us the process of fermentation, the stage. And just like velocity. For example, velocity, as I told you guys earlier, that on the first day, the car moves to 10 kilometers. On the second day, the car goes by 20 kilometers. And the third day goes by, I think it was minutes. Yeah, sorry, it was minutes. So 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, and 30 kilometers as the day goes by. So yeah, and it tells us the speed, the velocity. Basically the velocity, just velocity. And that was what? Kilometers per minute. Here, number of stage of fermentation. Wow, perfect handwriting. Equal what? Guys, equal what? Alright, you guys got it. That equals the number of bacteria per days. Yeah, that's basically it. Alright, thank you guys for joining in this video. I hope you guys are doing well in the AP exam. And I'll be sure seeing you guys very, very soon.